And this game here all but kind of seals our fate, man. It's I don't know. This sucks. I'm upset.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back
to
another episode of No Other Pod. I'm Jimmy, along with my good buddy Daniel Kooser. Dan, what's going on, my friend?
Dude, look at us right now. We can't record at 9 a.m. Why we are not put together. Our eyes are not even open. There's just little slits in our bodies. It's just
I got my coffee.
I drank my kombucha already. I'm trying to perk up here, dude, but it was long weekend of sports. Football's back. Soccer's in full swing.
Back.
What time?
It's we're recording this very early. Very early compared to when we normally record it because travel and scheduling and such made it that we couldn't record it later. So I woke up.
Voices are so froggy.
Yep. I woke up and 30 minutes later we're recording a podcast. So it's
amazing. You
It's
gotta do what you gotta do, man. You gotta do. We do what we can. We record on cruise ships if we can. We do our best.
Content for the people.
Absolutely.
Can't skip a week. So now
Why they're here.
I probably won't be here next week. I think we're gonna have to have our good friend Chris.
He says can't skip a week, but I gotta skip.
I gotta be. I'm gonna be like 7 hours ahead in France, and at this time next week, my youngest brother Eddie will be a married man, which is crazy. And I'm gonna be at Disneyland Paris,
dude.
So
that's crazy. I'm very dude. Why can't you record from France? Chris recorded from Japan.
I know he did. The dedication of Chris is wild.
Well, it was cool, dude. He was like in a whole ass I don't know, it looked like a dojo with like sliding doors and shit. And I was like, are there no chairs? Like you got to eat on the ground and stay. It was crazy. It was cool.
I've been to Japan once because my brother-in-law at the time, he was in the Marines and he and his wife lived in Okinawa. So we went to Japan to visit them in Okinawa in 2014, and we were able to spend 24 hours literally in Tokyo, which is not enough time in Tokyo.
No.
And then we went to Okinawa, which was very cool, but it's a totally different experience. So I would absolutely love to get back to Japan.
Well, are you prepared for Disneyland Paris? Like, are you got all your shit together like you would elsewhere?
Yeah, to an extent. It's a little different because it's not like they don't have like lightning lanes and such in the same way. They have something called Premier Access or something like that, where basically you can spend like $120 and then it just gives you their equivalent of lightning lanes for everything at any time.
Oh.
You can just
Disney World has that. It's called Premier Lightning Lane, yeah.
Yeah, but there in Disney World it's like $500. Here it's like $120.
I thought it was like $2 something, but that's still crazy.
It depends on the park. For Magic Kingdom, it's like $500. For Animal Kingdom, I think it's like $200.
Ridiculous.
But for most of the time, my cousin's coming to meet me one of the days that I'm there. But most of the time that I'm there, I'm just chilling by myself. It's gonna be like a little.
You're going multiple days?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a hotel.
Is it just one park?
It's 2.
Oh, is it 2 parks?
Yeah, there's like there's Disneyland Paris, and then I think it's called like Disneyland Studios or something. Walt Disney.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So
and there's an Indiana Jones roller coaster up there, man.
There's an Indiana Jones roller coaster, and their Space Mountain is a legit roller coaster that is like crazy. I've heard. So and in the Walt Disney Studios park, I don't remember what it's actually called, but they have like a full on badass Avengers ride.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, but I'm gonna be there, doing a little solo trip after the wedding for a couple days. So I'm gonna do a lot of single rider stuff and just kind of vibe. So
that's pretty cool, man. I told you we got our Florida trip coming. We're gonna hit that Universal Halloween Horror Nights, and it's gonna be wild. I've seen my whole feed is like videos of Art the Clown from Terrifier just walking around the park, just goofing with people. Not even scaring, because I don't think the character's scary. Like the way he acts is just like a goofy clown. He just has bad teeth.
Yeah. Do clowns, have they ever scared you?
Oh, not really. When people are like, I'm so scared of clowns, I'm like, I mean, they can be scary, but I don't think clowns are scary.
Yeah, no, me neither. Like I'm not a huge horror movie fan, but I actually went and saw both it and It 2 in
Oh
theaters
yeah,
with my brother when it came out because I was like, it's a damn clown. Like, it can't be that scary.
pretty scary.
And I mean, I was fine. It didn't
Yeah.
really scare me that much. And then I was like, and then we resolve this movie by just bullying the clown. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, bullying is the answer. I will, I will say, dude, the Conjuring movies kind of
Yeah,
spook me
that
because
one.
that new one's out. When like a door just like moves for no reason, I'm like, oh shit, spirits.
Nope. And I live by myself. I got my dog, but I live by myself, and my house creaks. It took me a long time to get used to there. I mean, this house has some noises, and
I'm not a fan.
I'm used to them now because I've been in this house for about a year. But it took me a while, and when I was living at the other house and we had cats, I could always just assume whatever sound I heard was the cats just doing something, and I was like, oh, that's fine. It's just the cats. And now I don't have cats to blame it on.
Well, the
So
worst. What if your dog? You ever had your dog just like look at something
it happened the other day.
for no reason, and you're like, "What are you doing? Is there a
He started
demon?"
just barking toward a corner. And I was like, what the hell is there?
Ghost, bro. Definite demons.
That's why I can't do like the Conjuring movies. I'm mad. I have a bone to pick. I'm sitting there trying to watch YouTube. I'm just watching like random, happy, lighthearted shit. And then all of a sudden it's like conjuring a demon in your house. And I'm like, it's 11:30 at night. I'm by myself. And now I got like crazy ass demons on my screen. I'm not trying to watch this. I don't need it.
There's probably a good contingent of people listening to this that are like, Conjuring's not even scary.
Oh.
Like, seriously, there's some people that think that's not good horror at all. But
I don't know if it's good horror, but this is like the residual religion from my childhood still in me where I'm like, I don't like if you were to like press me, do I actually think that stuff is real? No. Do I want to mess with it? No.
Yeah.
Why test fate?
If you fuck around, you will find out.
Right. That's why when we were on vacation years ago in Key West and they're like, oh, they have the doll that like Chucky is based on and it's haunted. And if you go see it, bad things will happen to you. And I'm like,
no thanks.
I don't need to see that. Why would I need that?
Is that the advertisement?
Yeah.
Go see it and bad things will happen to you.
They're
That's
like,
what I'm looking for.
That's the whole story is like you go and you see it and then terrible things happen and people are like, oh, that's funny. And I'm like, no, I don't need that in my life.
My life is fine. I'd rather not have more bad things,
I don't need to invite bad things into my life.
Jiminy Christmas.
So it's I don't know, but it wasn't the best sports weekend for a lot of our listeners. I mean, we probably it was the border war and it probably split relatively evenly maybe in our listener base. I don't know.
Chiefs lost, KU lost, K-State lost, Sporting lost. What a horrible weekend for this region, man. Like, just not great so early in the year like this.
No, not great at all. USC won.
Hey, Alabama won.
Took care of business. Alabama, they didn't put on a show as much as they should have.
Well, I think they played I think they played the school for the blind or something because they were just running all over them.
It was not good. The Packers looked amazing. Micah Parsons, my Packers. I had my cheese head on and everything, so I was
happy. Did I tell you about how the AI on Yahoo Sports told me my fantasy team was going to go 0-14? Did I tell you this?
Mm-hmm.
I won my game.
That's right.
Won my first game. Mm-hmm. Suck it, AI. You don't know anything. Come for our jobs. Come for it. Not going to happen. You can't do our jobs.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about this, and I was like, look, honestly, fantasy football, it's a crapshoot. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
You know what's real bad is I was getting pretty upset that I left Justin Herbert on the bench.
Well, that's true.
Because he had a time, bro.
Yeah, he took it to the Chiefs.
He did, and Trevor Lawrence got 11 points while Justin Herbert got 27.
Yeah, I would say put Trevor Lawrence on your bench and just let him sit there for a while, and it's Justin Herbert season.
But I still won because Puka Nacua had like 18, and my defense
lost me my
16.
Puka Nacua lost me. I was playing against him, and he ended up losing the game for me. It was halftime of my game. I know people are tuned into this to listen to our fantasy team updates.
It's fantasy sports.
But I was up, and AI again on Yahoo was projecting me. It was like you have like an 87% chance of winning, and I'm like awesome, and then I lost.
Dude, it's that percentage. It can change just like that because this gal had Zay Flowers last night with Baltimore, who was going off. And I was like, stop going off. Like I only won by 7 points. Can you imagine if Zay Flowers scored another touchdown?
Well,
Oh,
imagine if the Ravens knew how to finish out a game. So
come on, dude. I usually support the Hard Knocks teams, but it's the Bills this year, so I'm like,
right,
no, no thanks.
yeah,
But like, I can't believe they pulled that off last night.
it's stupid. John Harbaugh doesn't know how to
Unbelievable.
finish a game. It's
I
it's it's awful.
clearly.
Yeah. Well, before we get into sporting here, which we will do in a second, calling out Chiefs fans, you could be on the field at the 50 inside GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Visit chiefs.com/GEHA now. Enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pregame coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll be right back.
What's up, guys? I'm BJ Kissel, founder and CEO of KC Sports Network, and I'm here to talk to Kansas City businesses. If you rely on technology, you need an IT support team that's not just another vendor, but a true IT partner. That's how I want to introduce you to my friend and neighbor, KJ Miller. He is a VCIO at ThrottleNet, the Midwest's highest rated and most reviewed IT support company. They've been in business for more than 25 years, helping companies stay secure, productive, and ahead of the curve. They aren't just IT support, but they provide data security, IT strategy, and cloud software services. They do it all, and their reviews show they do it better than anyone else. So if you want to hear about how ThrottleNet can help your local business, join the conversation with myself, KJ Miller from ThrottleNet, and our resident genius from KC Sports Network when it comes to IT, at least as he's affectionately known by us, Mr. Craig Stout. Click the link in the description to hear how ThrottleNet can help you.
Hey, so I took some friends out to the game last night.
Yeah.
And we sat in the south stand because they had GA, but they took advantage of those that deal that if you've never been to a sporting game, we'll give you free tickets.
Oh, that was this one. Yeah.
And,
yep.
Yeah, and he'd never been, so he chose this date for that. And we literally sat across the aisle from our season tickets, so it was like
amazing,
kind of like sitting in our seats, you know?
Yeah.
But overall, man, they had a good time. They'd like to come back. Like the atmosphere was good. They enjoyed it. They were cheering and stuff. Wish there was more to cheer about.
Yeah.
Especially because we whooped their ass in possession.
Yeah.
We did pretty decent controlling the game for the most part. Just couldn't finish.
Yeah, I mean, and the game started off pretty well. I mean, the atmosphere was pretty decent. I mean, the Cauldron had like a whole band in the section, which they've done occasionally. It's not a consistent thing, but like
trumpets and stuff.
They had a tuba, they had trumpets, they had all the drums. Like I was like, okay, it's kind of a vibe.
You need to get down there. You need to get on the tube.
I did actually pull out my concert tuba last week for the first time in like 15 years, and I played a little thing. So I'm like,
yeah, a little put it on your TikTok.
I did, yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's you know, I do know that. So every year, quick side tangent. USC at homecoming, they invite band alumni back to come play, but it's like section by section. So it'll be like, oh, this year it's, you know, the drum line and the trumpets, and next year it's the trombones and the saxophones or whatever. This year it's the whole band. They're inviting the whole band back. So I think I'm going to try to go back for homecoming, and I'm going to have to, you know, procure a tuba somewhere.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's like homecoming what is that, like October?
November 1st, I want to say, this year.
Oh, wow.
For USC.
Cool. So. And knowing you'll probably just go to Disneyland while you're out there.
Well, it depends how long and how much money I have left because of, you know, because wedding and then Disneyland. Yeah, money is tight right now. So
good point, dude. Good point.
Yeah. But yeah, this team, I mean, like, you look at the lineup that was put out again, it was the 4-2-3-1 formation. We had Santi underneath Jovic, and then Shoppy and Shallowy. Little double pivot with Jake and Jacob Bartlett, Jake Davis and Jacob Bartlett, the Jake and Jake show. And then Alan Montez got his first start at center back, which we kind of need to see what he's got there, and partnered with Volader and then Shelton and Leibold in front of Pulskamp. So, you know, like you said, this game got off to a pretty decent start. I mean, there wasn't anything that was like terribly crazy happening for a while, but then when Shapi Suleimanov gets taken down in the box, at first there was no penalty given, but they actually signaled for further review, and the referee went to the monitor and ultimately ended up giving a penalty to Sporting Kansas City, which I'm going to be honest, I was kind of surprised they even signaled for review, let alone overturned it based on the threshold that it seems we've had in games past as to what needs to happen for a call to be overturned.
I mean, it was pretty great, dude. Like I thought it was a foul. I mean, were people questioning this?
Well, when I saw the replay at first, I was like, is it a foul? Probably, but he didn't get a lot of Shoppy. He got him, but it certainly wasn't the most egregious foul I've ever seen. And Shoppy did a good job of going down. Like, this is 100% credit to Shoppy for getting this call. I just feel like we've seen so many times where there's like blatant, clear, and obvious wrong calls, and they don't even signal for a review, that I have no idea anymore as to when and why and how they're going to decide, oh, this one we're going to review, let alone overturn, because it just feels like I have no concept of what the threshold is anymore.
I think, dude, it would have been amazing because right after that happened, they came down on the other end and had like a breakaway. They were that fast guy, O'Brien. Is that
Yeah,
it looks like O'Brien. That's probably not how you pronounce that though. But he can you imagine if he scored and then they're like, no, we have to go check for this penalty. Like, it'd be crazy to wipe off their goal and then have a goal for us. That'd be wild.
Well, that is what's weird is it takes a minute. Like, they don't review until there's a dead ball.
You got to have a dead ball. Yeah, and there was no dead ball for a little bit.
It took a while for the ball to go out. And so it was interesting that eventually they did end up reviewing it. And when the ref went to the monitor, Austin was super pissed. Austin players like followed the ref all the way over to the monitor, and Brad Stuver, the goalkeeper, had to actually walk over and push his teammates away from the referee, because you can get not only a card but a fine and or a suspension if you're berating the referee while they're doing video review. So.
Supposedly, dude, you can get a lot of things. You're also supposed to get a yellow when you delay a restart. You know what I mean? It's like
we'll talk about that.
Rules don't really matter. We're not worried about that.
No, but the penalty was given, and then Dejan Jovic, he steps up. And can I just say, it is so nice to have somebody in your team who, when they step up to the penalty spot, you are not worried about whether they're going to convert this or not, because this was not the case for Sporting Kansas City for many years.
Do you realize he's in the Golden Boot conversation?
It's crazy.
He is 17 goals. It's 17 now, and the highest is like 20. He absolutely has a chance to get that, despite us not winning games. It's so wild.
And somehow he wasn't an MLS All-Star.
Right.
Stupid.
I think Daniel Shallowy said in his pregame interview, like a day earlier, was like, it's upsetting that we could not reward him with good team performances for all the good work he's doing. It's like we want to make the playoffs because you got a player scoring goals like that, and we're struggling. And this game here all but kind of seals our fate, man. It's I don't know. This sucks. I'm upset.
Yeah, it is frustrating. But I mean, Jovic, I'm sure he's frustrated. You can see the frustration on his face at times on the field when he knows he's in the right spot and he's not getting the service he needs or whatnot. But I mean, he's still a young guy. He's like 24? Like, he's 25 maybe. He's got a lot of years ahead of him. 26. He's 26 years old. So he's still like just entering into his prime, few seasons. So if Sporting Kansas City can put something together around him, if Manu Garcia can stay healthy, if Shoppy can develop his right foot a little bit more, if Santi can stay here, because I really like what I see from Santi, there are the makings of a pretty lethal attack. They have to figure out the midfield. They have to figure out the back line. They have to figure out depth, because it's not fair to a player like Dejan Jovic to come here and be putting in the type of season that he's putting in and be surrounded by a team that is otherwise pretty lackluster. I feel bad.
Yeah. No, for sure, dude.
Especially after coming off a season where they just won MLS Cup. So this is not what he's used to.
No, it probably feels a little bit like, okay, thanks for the money and the trust and the goal scoring, but like I went from a great team to a bad team, but now that great team that I left is an even worse team than the bad team I'm on. So it's
absolute
really weird.
Crap. Yeah, it's I don't know. It was nice that Sporting was able to jump out to that early lead, and considering the possession that we were having and such, you would think, and it was at home, you would think, okay, we need to capitalize on this. And then 37th minute, it's been a long time since a goal that we've given up has made me as frustrated as this goal. And from every standpoint, because Austin has this ball deep in their own territory, and it's just a defender that has it, and he's just walking. He's not running. He's not anything. He's just like, it almost looks like it's a dead ball is how nonchalant he is. And then he looks up and decides, I'm just going to chuck it forward. And surely you're looking at this, you're going, okay, well, there's Tim Leibold, there's Robert Voloder, and there's John Pulskamp coming up, and there's only one Austin player in the screen, Owen Wolf. It's a 3-on-1. There's no way that this turns into anything. Owen Wolf somehow not only touches the ball down right in between Voloder and Tim Leibold, but he touches it down to the perfect spot and then fires the ball past both a diving Leibold and Pulskamp to put this in to equalize 1-1. I don't know how he got this ball, and neither Voloder nor Leibold was able to do anything about it. But this was the most frustrating microcosm goal of this season I think we've given up in a long, long time.
It's pretty bad. I mean, is Owen Wolf even that good of a player to be doing all that?
Yeah. I mean,
is that Josh Wolf's kid?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It is. But, I mean, this was like zero excuse for Leibold and Voloder to allow that to happen. And like I said, it wasn't even like, oh, this was a quick counter goal. They're just nonchalantly walking. Nobody's doing anything. You had all the time in the world to prepare for this, and you still couldn't do it.
No, man. I will say, though, Pulskamp stood on his head a couple more times, had some really good saves, point-blank saves, diving saves. Later on in the game, too, I think Austin had a clear header that like hit the post, which was crazy.
Yeah, they had a couple off-the-post shots.
Yeah. Pulskamp's looking good, though, man. We need to shell up our defense. Like, they caught us on the counter a couple times in this game, and just, you saw Kyrie Shelton just busting his butt getting back. It was crazy.
Well, he was busting his butt, but there was a time when Kyrie left his feet. He tried to slide and tackle the ball and totally whiffed it, and it almost directly led to an Austin goal. And I'm like, look, how many times did we hear Peter say, not to bring up Vermees, but how many times did we hear Peter talk about, like, if you leave your feet, you better be damn sure you're going to get the ball, because if not, you've just screwed over everything. Because the moment Kyrie went down in that moment, there's a cascading effect of, okay, now he's not in his position, so everybody else in the back line has to shift over. So not only are you down a man, you're got wide open space, and I think it went off the post, and it almost directly led to an Austin go-ahead goal. But it's super frustrating. You go into halftime 1-1, and you're thinking, okay, come out second half, have energy. You're at home. Playoffs probably aren't in the picture, but like finish strong. They bring in Eric Tommy for his first appearance since the 4th of July, who got a huge welcome, which was really cool.
Yeah, very much so.
Sporting looked for much of the second half like they were on the front foot. There were opportunities.
What, you got started getting an Eric Tommy chant from the Cauldron. I think at one point we got a Diego Rubio chant in the sense of Sporting reject.
Yeah, bad timing on that one.
Why you say that?
It was immediately before the go-ahead goal.
Oh, yeah.
But Diego Rubio he might be the most annoying former Sporting player to ever play against, because I feel like he's always causing shit. Like he's
a flopper. He's always been a little bit of a flopper, but I think people were real upset when he scored on our field and celebrated, like did a big old celebration.
Right.
And you all know there's kind of that unwritten rule, like you don't celebrate on your old team's field.
Right.
Johnny scored on us and didn't celebrate. Like, no. It's just class. So we've all kind of been like, you know what? Fuck Diego Rubio. That's where we are.
And he was being a little shit and like kind of pushing around, and like the ref had to like call him out and be like, hey, chill out on this corner kick. Like, calm down. And then
he's sassy, dude.
you could see like he was still kind of like John at Pulse Camp, and Pulse Camp wasn't even John back. He was like, I'm just trying to have my space, bro. Like, calm down. Like, what's going on? But then it was so frustrating because it was on that set piece while Sporting Reject is actively being chanted by the Cauldron, where Owen Wolf takes this corner, and it's just credit to this Fodry kid. I mean, it was a perfect header. But he does that, and then there's a celebration in front of the Cauldron, and it just kind of, I mean, that was 82nd minute, and that's ultimately what sealed the game. And again, I think Kerry said he believes it's like the 13th set piece goal that Sporting's given up this year, which is too much.
And we had moments too, man. Eric Tommy injected new life into this game. Joveljic had really good point blank shots that, guess what? Brad Stuber's a pretty good freaking goalkeeper. Mm-hmm. Like, he's just really good. So, like, to have him deny Joveljic anything, it makes sense, dude. It's just, they won the night. Austin's a good team. They're sitting in 6th place. They were teetering on that playoff line, but now they're giving themselves a little breathing room.
Yeah.
And did you know we're now in that time where teams are getting that little E next to their name on the standings for eliminated from the playoffs? Not us yet. Not us, but DC United and Montreal are out in the Eastern Conference, and everyone in the Western is still mathematically alive. That's right. Even LA Galaxy with 20 points.
Which is crazy. Joveljic had a golden opportunity. There were a couple, Santi missed Joveljic. It was a really good ball. He missed him by like 2 inches, which could have been an equalizer. Joveljic had a chance right at the end that could have been an equalizer in like the 93rd of the 94th minute. And I remember even posting on Blue Sky, I was like, that was probably Sporting's last chance. And then 45 seconds later, there's a foul. And the ref is marking it off for the free kick. And at this point, we're past the 94th minute. There was 4 minutes of stoppage, but I was like, he's going to give us,
to take it.
He's going to give us one more chance. Like, this is awesome, which I was like, okay, this makes sense. Austin's been delaying the game, and now he's fouled. It's an attacking opportunity. Just get the Austin players back off the ball, let them take one shot and see what happens. And I'm like, this is good. Austin players are standing over the ball. They're not moving. The ref walks up to the ball like he's about to tell the Austin player to back up, and then blows the whistle. Never in my life have I ever seen something like this.
I don't know why we don't just kick it at the player and be like, oh, he denied a restart. Like, do your job.
Yeah.
You can't just stand over a ball, and we're allowed to take this free kick whenever we want it.
And it should be an automatic yellow if they touch the ball within 10 yards and delay it. I think they were probably worried that, like, if we do that and the ball goes flying away, then they'll blow the whistle. And ironically, he did it anyway. But, like, Eric Tommy was over there after and had a long conversation with them, and he was like, bro, what the hell? Like, you say we can take it, and then you said we took too long, but the reason we took too long is because their dude was standing 6 inches in front of the ball. We couldn't take it. So do your job.
Doesn't make any sense. Nah, shouldn't have been in that position anyways. Not going to lie. Getting 1 point is not what we need at this point in the season anyways. So getting 0 points or getting 1 point, it all feels like the same anyways. We were done. Dead in the water.
And before we take our second break here, just a couple of highlights from what Kerry Zavagnin said after the game. He talked about, we left a lot to be desired on the game. A better performance could have gotten a better result. The game played out in a lifeless way. It's a microcosm of the season. You give up a goal that's very much preventable. Set pieces have done us in over the course of the season. This isn't what you want to be hearing as you're approaching the final part of the season from an interim coach who's trying to get the job. And so all in all, not a good showing for Sporting Kansas City. And he is right. Credit to him for being honest. This was a microcosm of the season on the whole, and it's just not good enough.
Yeah. So. And the thing is, man, we'd still have to win out, to make the playoffs and probably get some help elsewhere, but still alive. We're still alive in this game. So,
yeah. So, well, let's take our second break here, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about what's coming up in the next week for Sporting, but we'll be right back.
What's good, everyone? It is KCSN betting analyst Benny Heiss. Something hit me as I was driving to the Missouri side, ironically, for something not available on the Kansas side. I cross over. I just can't get over how long sports fans in the state of Missouri have been waiting. It feels like forever. Good news is you don't have to wait much longer because DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is finally coming to the Show Me State. And if you're thinking, yeah, but I got to wait on the sidelines until December 1st, it's not true. You can sign up right now. And when we go live, new Missouri customers get $300 in bonus bets just for placing a $5 bet. $5. That's not even as much as a pumpkin spice latte that's going to take over. So it's not some ragtag sports, but this is DraftKings. You got live in-game betting. So if your team starts hot, you can jump in mid-play. There's lightning fast payouts. None of that wait 3 days for your money nonsense. And you've got more ways to get in on the action. There's no better way to start. It's all from your phone. When we go live, you'll be betting with a sportsbook trusted by millions, safe, secure, fast withdrawals, everything you want. Well, except maybe a guarantee that your team will cover the spread, but that part's still on you. So here's the move. You download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use code KCSN, and when we go live December 1st, that $5 bet turns into $300 in bonus bets. That is code KCSN in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus and physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after they are issued. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Success in real estate takes more than vision. It takes the right financial partner. When someone takes something rundown and turns it into something great, that's called a comeback story, like Brain Group. They take distressed properties here in KC, completely rework them, and then turn them into valuable real estate. But that kind of work needs the right bank behind it. Enter Emprise Bank. They're not about cookie-cutter loans. They saw Brain Group's vision, backed them, and now they're making big moves in Kansas City real estate. Talk about your partner impossible. Emprise doesn't do one-size-fits-all financing. They invest in potential and back growth. Visit emprisebank.com/KC to learn more. Emprise Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Man, I gotta tell you, I've been deep in these Shawshank Redemption rehearsals, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's a different world when you're used to doing comedies and musicals and let's dance and tap dance and stuff. And you get into this gritty prison life, and it's emotional. It takes a toll.
I don't know why you said gritty prison life, and I had this like image of like cutting to you and your prison Dan, the same way Michael Scott was prison Mike, and you're like, I've been to the clank. I know what this life is like now.
Got bandanas on. Got a Cody Rhodes tattoo on my neck.
Like prison Dan.
It's cool, man. A lot of young dudes there that haven't really acted before, so it's been pretty cool to see them doing something.
Yeah, it's pretty funny that you have. I mean, it's impressive, honestly, that you have such range where you can go from, you know, the comedy that you're doing to Shawshank, and you're singing and you're acting and such. So it's pretty cool.
Well, it's fun to challenge yourself, you know.
Yeah,
be a little Bo Jackson life, if you will. Do a little bit of everything.
I mean, some of my favorite movie performances I've ever seen from actors are when like traditionally comedic actors then switch and do something a little bit more serious. And usually they find a way to bring a little levity to it as well. But like, obviously Robin Williams was fantastic at that. He was maybe the GOAT of all time doing that, where he could be funny, but he could bring emotion and seriousness to a role. So,
or like a Jason Bateman. Seen Jason Bateman do a little of both?
Heck, even Jim Carrey had some movies, you know, that you look at and you're like, oh dang, those are really like more serious type roles. And then he goes and does something like Ace Ventura and The Mask. So you know, it's, you know, pretty cool. Coming up for sporting, we got RSL this week on Saturday the 13th. I mean,
great.
At one point you're like, okay, cool, this is a team that if you found a way to beat, you might still be in the playoff conversation. But considering we have 5 games left and we're 8 points out of the playoffs, again, are we mathematically eliminated? No. Is Salt Lake ahead of us by 4 points? Yeah. So it'd be great to win this game, but is there reasonably a chance that we can make the playoffs? Probably not. But I don't like Salt Lake. I never have liked Salt Lake. I think Salt Lake fans are annoying. The city itself is fine, whatever, but the fans, not cool. The stadium sucks. There's nothing around it. I always want to beat Salt Lake. So I don't know. How are you feeling heading into the Salt Lake game?
Well, and they came to our place and, made us look ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we'd like to repay that favor, go up there where Willie Agata is and Johnny Russell and I think that I don't expect much out of this. I am excited because Casey Current plays at 6:30, and this game's at 8:30.
Yeah.
So there's no overlap there. You pop it on your phone and as you're driving home from the game. So
yeah,
should be good.
It's nice that the Current aren't playing at like 2 a.m. again. It was way too late.
It was a late game. I pounded some candy that I shouldn't have, and it made me pass out.
It's I'm gonna be obviously 7 hours ahead, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to watch this game, and if I'm gonna wake up at whatever it is 4 a.m. to watch Sporting Kansas City.
Well, that's silly. Why would you?
Well, no, it's reverse. It's gonna be later in the day. No, what time is it? 8:30. Yeah, no, so it'll be like 4 a.m. for me.
Yeah.
Time zones, man.
It sounds all. I wouldn't get up at 4 a.m.
I'm probably not going to get up at 4 a.m. to watch Sporting probably lose to Real Salt Lake.
And if they win, then guess what? You got the replay on Apple TV. Like, easy peasy.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. Now, what will be cool is, although I still think it'll be mostly an international break, but I was like, I'm actually going to be able to watch like EPL games that kick off at like 6:30 p.m., which would be awesome.
And they don't play, do they?
International break, yeah, which is a bummer. Because I was going to try to go see if I could like go to a PSG game or something while I'm there, or even a Paris FC, but none of them play. I'm sure it is, but I was like, how often do you get to go to a PSG game?
That's one of those things. Like, yeah, when will you be there again?
Yeah, my brother they're going to Spain for his honeymoon, and he somehow finagled his soon-to-be wife to allow him to go to Bilbao game on their honeymoon, Bilbao versus Girona. So I was like,
is she going?
Yeah, I mean, she's going. He's just like, okay, bye. Have fun on our honeymoon. I'm going to this.
I kind of wondered.
Yeah, but it was funny. I was actually on the phone with him when he was planning this, and I asked him. He was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to be in Bilbao for the honeymoon." And I was like, "Oh, are you?" Like I jokingly was like, "You gonna go to a game?" And he goes, "This is a good question." And I hadn't thought about this. And then he looks it up.
You're the problem.
He goes, "Oh, there is a game," and he goes, "And they're my favorite Spanish team." And I was like, "Okay." And then I hear him go, "Hey, Clara, you want to go to a soccer game on our honeymoon?" And then I can't hear what she's saying. And he goes, "No, I'm not joking. I'm so serious right now."
Are you joking? Goodness, earning them brownie points so early in the marriage.
You're burning your collateral very early in this marriage.
My goodness, it's you know what? She needs to know the type of man she has, and you need to set that expectation right away.
He's an Everton fan. She's dealt with it. She knows more about Everton than she ever should have to know. So
she's accepted it. Good.
Yeah, but I told him, I was like, look, you stood in line for like 3 hours for merch at the Taylor Swift concert, so she didn't have to miss a song. So this is just trade off.
Holy shit, that sounds crazy.
Yeah, but Salt Lake, I don't have hope for this.
So. No, it's just another game now. It's soccer, and we like soccer, so we'll watch the soccer, and it might be bad soccer, but we're gonna watch it anyways.
Yeah. So
there are a lot of people who don't. You saw those empty seats at Sporting again. Like it's pretty bare out there, man. And there are people who just are not going to watch this team if we aren't going to win some games. And that's their prerogative. That's the fair weatherness they want to play.
Right. But maybe, hopefully, next year, there are some changes that could bring people back. And speaking of changes, Andrew Wiebe kind of broke a little bit of news about Sporting during the game or right before the game. He said, he said this on the broadcast, and he also posted this on his Twitter account. He said, the new chief soccer officer for Sporting Kansas City should be coming before the end of the season. The club is in the final round of interviews. The chief soccer officer will come from outside the organization, and it will be the chief soccer officer who will hire the manager. The chief soccer officer could make wholesale changes. There are 17 players out of contract. 2 of the 3 DP spots could be opened, and all 3 U22 players. So that's more information than we've heard up to this point in terms of forward movement for the most foundational part of this club, which is who's in charge.
Yeah.
So it's good to hear that we don't know who this is going to be. He says from outside the organization, it's probably going to be another name in MLS, I would assume, because somebody at that level needs to know the intricacies of MLS roster mechanisms. But I'm anxious to hear who this is so we can actually know who's leading this club into the future.
Yeah, but for sure, man. There are better days to come, I believe. Gotta build this team though. Gotta find a good core group of guys and build around them. Similar to what Casey Current has done, dude.
Yeah.
They found a good core group of people and they locked them in for like 3 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Bright days over there.
Now, someone did reply to this because the interesting thing, and I noticed this too, he said 2 of the 3 DP spots could be opened. And so someone replied and said, Jovic and Garcia can't be bought down, so only 1 DP spot can open up. And Weeby replies, that's not the only way you open a DP spot. So Weeby's being a little mysterious here, which to me means that Weeby's alluding to a potential transfer or a sale, which would be kind of weird because they've only both been here for 1 year. And I don't think Manu Garcia is the one that anybody's banging on the door to get. That means that it could potentially be Jovic. And I'm making some logic leaps here, but the way that he's having, as good of a season as we talked about, especially if there's a European team who's knocking on the door for Jovic, it would be a bummer to lose him after just 1 season, but Weeby seems to be alluding to the potential, at least, for something. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Money talks, dude. Money talks. If he's going to have a banger season for you and you can get a shit ton of money for him and go lock up a better striker, presumably, like that's business. And that's what you got to do. And it's worrisome, even over on the KC Current side. You see in NWSL, you saw Alyssa Thompson going to Chelsea. Mm-hmm. And it's like, man, I bet there's calls about Chawinga. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah, it's for sure.
No doubt. And if the price is right, you pull the trigger. So same deal here with Jovic. You never know.
Yeah. And that's a good point. I mean, look, make sure y'all listen to Currently so you can hear the breakdown of everything happening with the Current and whatnot. But like, just my own personal perspective, we are probably never going to, again, in Kansas City, have a player, men's or women's, who's legitimately nominated for the Ballon d'Or while actively playing for a Kansas City team. So appreciate this time where we have somebody playing for a Kansas City soccer team who is literally nominated for the best player in the world. That's crazy. She's insane. So
very wild.
The fact that she's
on top, golden boot,
insane. So I don't know, something to keep an eye on for Sporting Kansas City. And then outside of this, just to as we wrap up here in the next few minutes, just to put a bow on what we talked about last week with Leagues Cup. Obviously, Miami lost, and then there was a fracas, a hullabaloo after the game where Luis Suarez spit on a Sounders staff member. Sergio Busquets threw a punch. There was all sorts of stuff happening. Leagues Cup did announce some disciplinary action. Luis Suarez will be suspended for 6 games for the next Leagues Cup edition, if he's even around. Sergio Busquets will be suspended for only 2 games. Thomas Avalos will be suspended for 3 games, and then Steven Lenhart, the Sounders mental health coach, will get a 5-match suspension while for appearing to throw punches while attempting to separate Cody Baker. So Leagues Cup has come down with some suspensions. I don't really care about this. MLS needs to come down with some suspensions.
No, they can't. They can't.
They can. They've done it
Why?
before.
What? It's not their competition.
But they've suspended. I think it was Clint Dempsey got suspended for doing something in the Open Cup, and it went over into MLS. They can do whatever they want.
Really?
The Players Union would probably fight it, but they could. There's precedent for it.
Don't they always try to keep that shit separate, like in every league in the world?
A lot of times they do, but MLS has precedent for it. I want to say it was Clint Dempsey who did something in an Open Cup and faced MLS league suspension for it. Will MLS do anything? No, because it's Miami and it's Luis Suarez, and they don't want to mess with their golden goose. But
I don't. Yeah, I just didn't think they would because it's not their competition. It's not their thing. So.
That's the excuse they're going to use. Right. I fully expect them to do nothing. But
I accept that excuse. I really do. I think it makes the most sense. It's unfortunate that it wasn't an MLS game. I just feel like if you get a red card in Open Cup, you're not suspended in MLS. It's just keep it separate if they can, and they do that in like the Carabao Cup and Premier League. And
the Leagues Cup is just a made up competition between MLS and Liga MX anyway. So like when they're like, oh, the Leagues Cup has suspended them, I'm like, but the Leagues Cup is just MLS.
No, it's pretty dumb.
Yeah, that's
there you
Nick
go, man.
Looked it up. In 2015, Dempsey was suspended 3 games in MLS for actions in the Open Cup final.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, there's precedent.
I vaguely remember that 10 years ago. That's crazy.
I know. It's nuts. Outside of this, the only other thing that I wanted to mention is the U.S. men's national team laid a giant egg against South Korea, lost 2-0.
They're not looking good.
It's not putting a lot of confidence into this World Cup.
We are World Cup ready.
So and you can't even say that like, oh, this wasn't, the A team, because Pulisic was playing, Tyler Adams was playing, Timothy Weah was playing, Serginho Dest was playing. Is it the full A team? No, but you can't be losing 2-0. Look, and South Korea, they have Son, who's obviously a very good player and such, but this is embarrassing. You can't be doing this. And now they face Japan in another friendly this week, and hopefully that goes better. But just embarrassing stuff from the U.S. men's national team.
100%.
The last thing to say before we sign off here is the World Cup visa pre-sale draw does happen starting September 10th this week, September 10th through 19th. So if you have a Visa credit card, you can actually register sometime between September 10th and 19th for a World Cup ticket lottery. And then on September 29th, you'll find out if you were selected. And then October 1st, you could start buying tickets. And tickets range anywhere from $60, which there'll probably be like two $60 tickets, to $6,700. So
you feel like you got to at least try for somewhere around that $100 range. But
right.
I'm not sure what the maximum is that I would spend on a ticket. Like, I don't need to be there like that bad, but I'd like to be there.
I think I would be willing to spend, after fees, and I haven't fully thought this out, I'm thinking this live,
Couple hundred?
about $200.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Nick threw 500 in the chat. That's a lot of money.
500's rough. That's some Price is Right bullshit. I think that,
50, I think, is my ceiling.
And looking at it as like me and my spouse, probably 200 a piece, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. That makes sense, because then if you have two people, that's $500 for the two of it. Yeah, I mean,
and you got to jack around with parking too. Like, it's not something I need to be in attendance for.
It would be, for 2 tickets plus parking, plus if you can get food and such. I mean, you're talking, even if you have $250 tickets, you're talking a $500, $600, $700 experience when it's all said and done.
It'd be cool, and it's a one-time thing. When will you ever do it again? It's you got to feel like you got to try, and then worry about the money later.
Yeah,
because now you also. Speaking on that, you got KC current playoff games coming, so there's a little money that you got to spend as well.
And they guarantee home games.
They just locked it in.
So, yeah, but so
just a matter of time before they lock up that shield, baby.
Let's do it. It's
coming.
You got anything else for our good listeners?
No, that's it, man. Thanks for joining Groggy Koos and Mac over here. Hell of a time.
I do wonder if you've listened to this like over the course of the episode, if our voices get a little bit better.
We got a little more bubbly. I can feel it in my body.
I had my coffee kick in and whatnot, but
oh yeah.
Thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate you. Hopefully Sporting does better next week than they did this week, but make sure you follow us on social at No Other Pod, at Dan Kooser, at JCMac03. Leave us that 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcasts. Send us an email, nootherpod@gmail.com. Check us out on YouTube, KCSN Soccer, or via the Kansas City Sports Network app. It'll probably be Chris here next week with Dan. But until next time, he's Dan. I'm Jimmy. We'll catch y'all later. See ya.
These Salt Lake games get spicy.